guys, I am back. I'm doing a deck profile for Majespecters, one of my favorite decks from the Pendulum era. I'm going to go over what they do, the deck profile, and all that stuff. To Maxx, because it's really good to draw cards. If you don't know what Maxx does yet, during either player's turn, you can send the Maxx from your hand to the grave. Every time your opponent special summons, you draw one card, and you can only use one Maxx per turn. So the Majespecter monsters, two Majespecter Cat. As you notice right here, they don't have pendulum effects. None of the Majespecters have pendulum effects, but that's okay. They make up for it in other ways. All the Majespecters cannot be destroyed by card effects and cannot be targeted by card effects. So Majespecter Cat, when it's normal or special summoned, you can add one Majespecter card from your deck to your hand during the end phase. This is the only one that happens during the end phase. The rest happen on summon. But this is really useful sometimes if you need another card add. Or if you pendulum summon it, you just get free stuff. So it's a pretty decent effect. 3 Bunbuku. This one searches Majespecter monsters. 2 Majespecter crows. This one searches Majespecter spells. 3 Majespecter Fox Kyubi. This one searches traps. And then 2 Majespecter Toad Ogama. This one sets a Majespecter spell or trap card directly from the deck, but you cannot activate it the turn that you set it. And all of these guys' effects are a hard once per turn. So even if you summon another one of them, you cannot use the effect again. 2 Ash Blossum and Joyous Spring to stop our opponent from adding things to their hand. 1 Luster Pendulum, the dracoslayer. This card is great because if you have one of your other Majespecters in a pendulum zone, like Cat for instance, you can play dracoslayer, play Cat, use his effect to destroy Cat, and then add another Cat to hand, and then bam, you have another monster in your hand. You can pendulum summon, and another one in the extra deck, which you could use to make a rank 3 like Totem Bird, which we'll get into later. So this card, incredibly good. Then we have Cataclysmic Chronic Coldo. Well, that's hard to say. So if one of your wind monsters, which, spoiler alert, they're all wind, is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then you can place one spell or trap card from the field on top of the deck. And that's either field. For whatever reason you wanted to put one of your cards back on the top of your deck, you could. You can only use this effect once per turn. This actually came in handy, which you'll see in some of the replays. 1 Raigeki. 1 Terraforming. 2 Ties to the Brethren. This card lets you pay 2,000 life, target 1 level 4 or lower monster you control. For the rest of the turn after this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters. Also, special summon 2 monsters from your deck with the same type, attribute, and level, but with different names from each other and that monster. You cannot conduct your battle phase the turn you activate this card. I know there's a lot of restrictions on that, but being able to play either Crow or Fox or Toad and then play ties, you get 3 monsters on board, and that means you also get 2 additional searches from these guys. And we'll get into spells and traps and that they can search in just a minute. 2 Pot of Extravagance in case your hand is clogged. 1 Lightning Storm. 1 Secret Village of the Spellcasters. This card's pretty decent. If you control a spellcaster monster, well, if your opponent has one as well, they can still activate spell cards, but if only you have a spellcaster monster, your opponent cannot activate spell cards. If you control no spellcaster monsters, you cannot activate spell cards. This stops my opponent from playing the game sometimes, and I really like it. 3 Majesty's Pegasus. All Majespecter monsters on the field gain 300 attack and defense. You contribute 1 wind spellcaster type monster, special summon 1 level 4 or lower Majespecter from your deck. You can only use this effect to Majesty's Pegasus once per turn. So This card is great when it resolves, but like when it gets ashed or the one time it got Ghost Ogred, then you just don't have a monster on board because you have to destroy it to activate the effect. So I kind of thinking about cutting this to 2 because it seems kind of like it's a win more card. Like if you're already ahead, it's great. But if you're behind and this gets stopped, it just feels like you're getting kicked in the nuts. 2 Majespecter Cyclone. This is searchable from either Toad or Crow. And it's tribute 1 wind spellcaster type monster, which all your Majespecters are. Then target 1 monster your opponent controls, destroy it. 1 Majespecter Sonics. Target 1 Majespecter monster you control until the end of the turn. Its attack and defense become double its current attack and defense. Also, any battle damage it inflicts to your opponent is halved. This card has helped me keep some stuff on board because it allows me to just beat over things or defend my monsters. 1 Tornado, tribute 1 Majespecter Tornado, tribute 1 wind spellcaster type monster, then target 1 monster your opponent controls, banish it. Once again, this can be searched out from Fox or from Toad, and this card the Sonics can be searched out by Toad or by Crow. Then we have 1 Solemn Judgment, 1 Solemn Warning, 3 Majespecter Tempest. So when a monster would be monsters would be special summoned, or a monster effect would be activated, tribute a wind spellcaster type monster, negate the summoner activation, and if you do, destroy that card. So this can be searched out with Fox or with Toad. It's basically Solemn Strike, which our last 2 cards in the deck are Solemn Strike. Running 5 Solemn Strikes, pretty good. In the extra deck, we have 1 Ignister. This is basically 1 tuner and 1 non-tuner pendulum monsters. So the tuner you're going to use is Luster Pendulum. And it's once per turn you can target a pendulum monster on the field or 1 card in the pendulum zone, destroy it. And if you do, shuffle 1 card on the field into the deck. And that does not target either. Once per turn you can summon 1 dracoslayer monster from your deck in defense position, but it cannot be used as material for a synchro monster. You'll never use that effect. Next we have 2 Totem Birds. 2 level 3 wind monsters. When a spell or trap card is activated, and this is a quick effect, you can detach 2 materials from this card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. This card loses 300 attack while it has no materials. And then 1 Cowboy, which is 2 level 4 monsters. Once per turn you can detach 1 XYZ material from this card, and if it's an attack, you can make it gain 1000 attack. And if it's in defense, you inflict 800 to your opponent. 2 number 60 Durgis Timeless. You can detach 2 materials from this card, activate 1 effect, skip your next draw phase, draw 2 cards, discard a card, skip your next main phase, special summon 1 monster from your graveyard in defense position, skip your next battle phase of your next turn, also double the attack of 1 of your monsters you control until the end phase of this turn. You can only use this effect of number 60 Durgis once per turn. 1 Nightmare Cerberus, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 2 Great Fly. This is just so we can basically special summon out stuff from the extra deck to the pendulum zones easily. 2 Wind Monsters. All wind monsters on the field gain 500 attack and defense. All earth monsters lose 400 attack and defense. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target 1 wind monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. You can only use this effect of Great Fly once per turn. 1 Wind the Wind Charmer. This is just to basically have a link monster that is also a wind spellcaster. You probably won't actually use the effect. You can target a wind monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to a zone this card points to. If this link summon card is destroyed by battle or your opponent's card effect, once in a monster zone, you can add 1 wind monster with 1500 less 1500 less defense from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect to win the Wind Charmer once per turn. 1 Decode Tucker, 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Borlo Dragon, and 1 Appaloosa Bow the Goddess. And we're going to go ahead and get right into the replays. If you guys want more deck profiles like this, let me know, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.